Um, Welcome to the Duarte City Council meeting. We already opened this several minutes, no, I guess about an hour ago, and we went into closed session to discuss the public employee performance evaluation. So once again, welcome. We're glad you could be here. And we are item 2. Well, I should mention, Jody may be here. We just don't know at this point. So she is the only one that is absent at this time. And of course, our end seat there, or one of our beloved colleague. So we will start with the pledge to the flag, which is item 2, and it's going to be led by, I think it's the only school board member in the audience. I think I know him. James Finley, Dr. James Finley, if you would come and lead us in the pledge to the flag. And yes, we always pick from the audience.
Yes. Do I do that here?
Yep.
Okay. All right. If everyone could face the flag, place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And I might add, I don't know how many of the rest of you got this notification today. Let's see if I've got it here real fast. Hold on. Oh, yes, here we go. I just got this forwarded to me, and it is from the CEO of the City of Hope. I think that's what he is. President of the City of Hope. And it says, today I have wonderful news that you are part of the City of Hope. Part of. The City of Hope was recognized as the 7th best hospital for cancer in the nation, according to U.S. News and World Reports with their annual rankings. This is the first time that the City of Hope has cracked the top 10, and it is an amazing accomplishment. They have been growing, and we certainly see that growth down on our campus, and they, of course, have grown down in Orange County also. So my congratulations. I know James works at the City of Hope, and I know there are a number of other people either here in the audience or that live in the city of Duarte. And congratulations to the City of Hope. Okay, so our next item is the City Attorney Closed Session Report, which is item 3. Ty?
Nothing to report out, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you very much. Now we're at item 4, which is special reports or special items. And the very first item is the introduction of the Mayor's Youth Council and administration of the oath of office by the mayor. So I am hoping somebody that gives me something so that I have an oath to read. Oh, here's Marilyn. Okay, I will come down. Oh, hold on.
Mayor should know that oath by heart.
Hey, if we could have everybody from the Mayor's Youth Council.
Would you like for me to introduce them and have them come
Why
up
don't
that
you
way?
Do that.
Okay.
Why don't you do that?
Okay. Good evening, Mayor, Council, Marilyn Mays, City of Duarte Recreation Supervisor. Teen Center Supervisor, thank you. I am up here to announce your 2023 Duarte Mayor's Youth Council, so I'll do that this time. We do have a few members that are absent today due to sports conflicts, out-of-town travel, but the ones that are here, when I call your name, if you could please come up and possibly face the council. Okay, Michael Durande. Danielle Finley, unfortunately, is absent today. Ethan Finley. Diana Levy. Angela Luzine. Joanna Lozada, Lakaira Camp, Raymond Ortega unfortunately is absent. Hope Peoples, who is actually your new incoming Mayor's Youth Council President. Rebecca Ramirez is unfortunately absent. Victoria Ramirez. Elisa Ramos. Dia Shah Patel. Francisca Vasquez is unfortunately absent. Adali Vila. Harmony Vila. And Arkin Valdez.
So I'm going to go ahead and, do the oath of office. So, repeat after me. That's the best way to do it, Marilyn? Yes, okay.
Right hand.
Yeah, that's what you want there. Okay, perfect. Okay. So it's gonna start out and then you're gonna state your name, okay? So, and don't say state your name. So. Just remember, is it from Animal House? Sorry. Okay. I state your name. Do solemnly swear or affirm. Oh, you're supposed to raise your right hand.
Yeah.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear truth and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California. That I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. That's it. Congratulations. Oh, council, you all want to come down here with council, we're gonna get a picture.
You guys are gonna have each other now face me and council will join you for the photos. Then you all some parents.
And you have all these?
I'll give them to Marilyn.
Okay.
I should take your photos so that they're gonna be a better perspective. Okay? Then
Everybody's wishing.
I'll be tall like this.
okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, and Marilyn has all of your, the papers for you all the time, the oath. And
Something like that.
thank you. We appreciate you guys doing this.
They have a-
It was just smart.
No,
Appreciate your time and dedication, and I'll do my best to get dessert.
Well, you're just done.
All right, thank you very much for the time.
World Communication on Mayor's Youth Council.
Oh,
Just
okay, okay.
I forgot about it. I was out of college too.
Congratulations to all of you. Thank you for all you do. You're an inspiration and you give us all hope. So keep up the good work, guys and girls.
Didn't you do that
Yeah.
before?
They just started in 15 to 16. Young leaders.
They would have had that. I was definitely doing. I'm ran for mayor. I've been a mayor with mayor youth council. And I could have told everybody I was the junior mayor of the ward. The junior mayor of the ward. What did he do? I don't know.
Okay,
Alright.
we have someone that would like to speak on the Mayor's Youth Council. Lino,
Lino Paros. Sorry, I was late to give that input before. First up, I'd like to thank the contribution and volunteering of the Mayor Youth Council during the memorial of Saital Paraskarate, my daughter, and they were very good. But the input that I'd like, and you can relate to them, is that my family would establish a foundation in the name of Saital Paraskarate before the end of the year, mainly to the foundation would be for the youth of Duarte and neighboring thing, the Mayor Youth Council, etc., and so on. And sorry, I was not able to mention that while they were here, but you can relay that a nonprofit foundation, mainly funded by our family, would be established. Thank you.
okay, and Lino, maybe when I go to a Mayor's Youth Council meeting, maybe if you'd like to come with me, then you can announce that to the kids too.
Well, I intend also to, but thank you I intend also to attend
Okay,
their meeting. I have attended their meeting in the past.
I'll let you go there for the dessert. I know that.
Yeah, no, I bring the dessert. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, our next item is a public safety update.
I'm under pressure. Mr. Hernandez said to make it good, so. Thank you, Mayor and Council. This is the monthly update. I will try and actually make it brief. I know there's quite a few to talk, a lot to talk about Carmageddon, so we'll get to that at the end. Did want to talk, it will be National Night Out is next Tuesday from 5 to 8 and in Encanto Park. We are going with an emergency preparedness fair. The deputies will be cooking hot dogs and we'll provide hot dogs, chips and water and I think soft drinks out to people for free. We also will have a bounce house, big slider, and we'll have a dunk tank where some of the deputies, you can dunk a deputy. I don't know how much the tickets are. I forgot to ask Ada that, but bring some money. I think she's also bringing the little cube, which takes credit cards. So it is a fundraiser for DART to help bring money in for DART so we can fund that program all year as well as give scholarships at the end of the year. So hope to see you all there, learn a little bit about emergency preparedness. We got a lot of great groups and vendors coming for that night. Let's see, going down. So part 1 crimes, we've been inching up. You know, we started out the year, made it all the way half a year. Really good. We were under, but now we're starting to creep up. I think we're just under 10%. Actually, we're just over 10% as of this last week. Most have been the theft related categories. Larceny, theft, burglaries, commercial and residential have started to creep up. So we will need to keep our eyes and ears open and start reporting suspicious behavior. It's kind of happening all times of day and night and days of the week. So there's really no pattern to it. Catalytic converters starting to jump up again. We're looking into that. Again, that's all over the board. People are reporting that they're hearing the sound of a sawzall out in the driveway. Getting time to basically get out there and give a really basic description of vehicles. Very seldom making models, mostly color and sedan. But we have been adjusting our special assignment deputies' hours, putting together an operation, probation operations, as well as operations to go out and start looking at enforcement, finding people that are out there trying to steal catalytic converters, as well as commercial burglaries. Let's see, on the outreach, did want to report out, we did meet with Lakata. That is our new homeless services group. As you remember, we are now, actually Measure H and state funds are now being channeled through the COG. They went out to for an RFP. Union Station did receive the bid, but they failed to meet the qualifications at the end. And so they ultimately contracted with Lakata for services. We met today with them, felt very positive. This is the gotta get this right, high acuity team that is focusing on people who have been homeless for more than a year with substance abuse or mental health issues or problems, which goes kind of hand in hand. Those meet all of our criteria of all of our residents that we have in the city of Duarte. They will be working very closely with Tony as well as public safety, going out weekly and being available as a whole. So we're very excited. In addition, we are set to roll out with Lakata a supplemental existing. That's why I have to write these words, all these terms. And that's to focus on those who are at risk or are just currently homeless, and getting to them prior to them being high acuity, being over a year. So we'll be hitting it from both sides with Lakata, and we look forward to working with them. And there's a lot of other programs coming down, which we will keep advising council of as we go forward. Let's see, before we talk about Carmageddon, I did want to talk about emergency preparedness and why I always have the Emergency Operations Center bullet at the bottom. You might wonder why I keep those on, which has to deal with COVID and now the fish fire. The reason being is by law, we have to have a monthly update and meeting on them, because we have them open as emergencies. Since we declared emergency, we have yet to close them. Reason for COVID is it's not over. And potentially we may need funding down the road for it. So if we close it, we are not eligible for federal or state funding. Same for fish fire. Obviously, as we go towards rain, hopefully one day in Southern California, and we prepare and look at studying potentially the debris flow that we will have from the fish fire, we need to keep that open so we're eligible for funding. And that's the reason you will always see there, at least until the time where I bring a resolution to close that emergency, that will continue to stay on there. All right, so the closure of the 210 freeway obviously did not go as I think we were hoping and were told by Caltrans. All the signs that they said would be up there were up there. CHP didn't have the presence. The trucks did not have the wherewithal to use the detour routes that were detailed by Caltrans and laid out by Caltrans, and they decided to use Huntington Drive. So we had to scramble, hired overtime deputies to conduct traffic stops, and we issued a lot of citations for those 6 days. It finally thinned out towards the end of the time. So we're definitely looking and getting to be prepared, and we're already working on scheduling all our overtime for the next one, which by coincidence happens to be August 17th through 23rd. So another 6 days, another full closure. Starting on the 17th, they'll do it for, I think, 6 to 8 hours full closure, and then the back end full closure, and then 3 lanes each way during the mid time. So we, Stephanie and Craig and our city manager and myself have been talking. We will work very closely with Caltrans to see what we can come up with to potentially compensate us for some of the damages. We had some signs damaged in the median. I think we had a signal damage because the trucks making turns happened to clip and pull and drag stuff. And then potentially we can always discuss the roadway damage from the amount of traffic that went through there. Definitely working on a better plan to get the message out, and definitely working on more enforcement at the front end, which I think will help reduce it overall. And, you know, we will be ready for the next event, which is, like I said, August 17th. Are there any questions?
My colleagues, go ahead, Vin.
Go for it.
We could put a toll on a 605, so you want to get out there, we could charge them for that.
It would, or a lemonade stand, but but yeah, there was a lot of traffic and a lot of big rigs, a lot more than I think anybody would have imagined. I know at one point commercial CHP looked at it, and he felt that given that the violation had to occur in the city, once it incurred in the city, that he didn't want to pull over and block a lane citing. But to me, I'd rather cite and get the word out, because they have CB radios, they talk, and they say avoid getting off and coming through Huntington, they're writing tickets. So we will be well ahead of the game and we will be writing tickets. So, and looking at additional signage out along the 210, 605 and more advanced notice for trucks, whatever they have to do to notify them of what the truck route truly is. That's not Huntington Drive.
Okay, and that's honestly what I heard the most of was the truck traffic, and I guess even a car further down closer to Los Lomas was clipped out on the street and had a huge side swipe going up the side of it. So,
Didn't hear
Okay.
that, but I did hear about the one, a truck on Royal Oak, so we will definitely
Oh,
be
wait a
looking
minute.
for that.
I had two trucks up in my neighborhood, two
Yeah.
18-wheelers. It was
Yeah.
like, I had to give them props for going that far.
That's pretty darn
Yeah.
nervy.
I think they wanted a shortcut to go to Palmdale really quickly.
Okay, Caesar and then Sam.
I know something we talked about at our budget meeting was a left green on Central and Buena Vista. This Carmageddon really highlighted that problem, and I think there's multiple problems with the signals there. One is people are emerging from the middle lane instead of the far left. And then other people are going straight, making a U-turn by Spaghetti Factory just to go right. Another is, and this is not the signal's fault, but
Right.
there's a lot of turn on red where the sign says do not turn on red, which then backs up people going westbound on the 210. I think, I don't know what, if we can recommend a study. I know it's not agendized.
So I would recommend that staff take a look into, and we can bring it back for a future agenda item.
Okay,
Thank you.
got it. Thank you, thank you.
Okay, Sam.
Wow, where do I start, right? And thank you so much for taking your time and effort, and also Dr. Jordan for just listening to me or texting with me and just I know just
We felt your pain.
um you guys know where I live. I'm
Yeah.
like right at the epicenter of it. And it was really bad. And this is actually not the first time this is happening. This is not just because of the 6 days closures. Prior to that, I think even prior months, they usually close down the 605 to the 210 east ramp. They do that very often. And then all of these, class 8 trucks would just go right down on Huntington. So I don't know what we can do about this, but I just don't think Caltrans had enough signs prior to. I mean, later on, I started seeing a lot more signs propping up. I think the latter, maybe like the past, the latter 3 days or whatever, 2
about
days
right.
and so on, I saw a lot more. Perhaps maybe, I'm not sure if this is possible, but maybe we can ask Caltrans to put, look, enforcement will be enforced, right? It is illegal for class 8 trucks or anything that's over 7 tons to come down onto Huntington. Otherwise, they're like, whatever. And I mean, I have so many pictures and videos. It was amazing. Huntington really became 210 freeway, and it was bad. And I'm not the only one who is affecting it, but so many people around this area in Azusa, Bradbury, whatever, and so on, just trying to go in and get back home or going to work. We're all have been affected by this. And I think there's got to be better planning. And I understand that they have planted that where they're supposed to go in and egress off on Lower Azusa and get on to Erindale, right? But it's like it's just a few signs, and there are not a lot of cones. I don't know. I'm not Caltrans, so I can't really say. But it's like I remember going down on the 5 freeway when I was going down to Irvine, whatever, and it said Freeway 5 is closed, and there's so many cones and there's so many directions to go ahead and direct trucks and cars where to go, but I just didn't really feel that. And then it's like, well, it's optional, you guys get off now, and until they're like, oh crap, it's too late, I'm on Huntington, and they all rush onto Huntington, right? And then some people went to went all the way up to, Mesa and thinks that there's a, an exit. I can fly a helicopter or something. It's amazing. And they were doing literally U-turns on Mount Olive, and I mean, right by the donut shops, and it's crazy.
It was
It
crazy.
was just very, very impactful for a lot of people around here too. And then the unfortunate part is we don't have many arteries, right? The only one we have really is just Huntington and Huntington Foothill. And then the other smaller one that we have is Royal Oaks. It's really sad to see this. I think Caltrans should really be cognizant of what's going on. It's how impactful to the constituents around this area when they close, especially to, going eastbound and westbound. It's amazing. I mean, there's got to be better ways to go ahead and plan this. And CHP, what did they say committed to do?
Nothing.
Nothing.
They committed
They
to
don't have
coming
to.
out and looking at it and determining that they would make the problem worse by pulling over trucks.
So I'm curious, who is fully responsible for this? Caltrans, right?
Caltrans.
So Caltrans, did they talk to all the adjacent cities and the sheriffs and say, here's my plan? Or they just said, you know what, everything is going according to plan. I read that on Star News, or I was like, what?
I don't think, I don't know who made that comment. I wouldn't say, I'd say their construction went according to plan. I would not say their detours went according to plan. And I think they would agree to that. And I think that's why they made the calls to CHP. But CHP decided that they felt it was more harmful to do enforcement and taking a lane and impacting traffic than allowing traffic to flow.
So how can we,
Well, we'll take care of it ourselves.
okay,
And
so I guess
so-
we have a mitigation plan
Yep.
for the
And
next.
as well as talking about more signage. Potentially, I don't know what their contacts are with trucking companies, but they need to do better at reaching out to them and letting them know we will be citing. And, and that's a moving violation. So truckers, to them, that's very impactful because you're messing with their livelihood. at that point.
Right.
So we will be
Okay.
citing.
Okay,
Other questions?
no, I'm good. Thank you.
Well, I didn't mention this, but props on the black and white spaghetti factory. I know we tried.
Hey, that's usually our vehicle we put in front of some of our shopping centers and so we were trying, at least without having a body there, to make them think twice, but they were going for it anyways.
Okay, Sam, you had one other
I'm
thing?
sorry, Brian. I got one more thing. This has nothing to do with Carmageddon or Carmageddon 2. That's coming soon. Coming to your theater soon. No, but this has to do with homelessness.
Mhm.
I got a text and a call this morning stating that the homeless folks, it's not a crime to be homeless, but unfortunately they're vandalizing the retail shops and they're defecating all over the places. So it's causing a lot of havoc for the business owners to operate. Is there a way to solve that issue?
There is. So
Okay.
homeless isn't a crime. Vandalism and the defecating in public can be crimes. Have them call public safety or Tony, or give them my number or email so we can respond out while they're doing that and take care of it.
Okay, I will provide the information to them. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Brian, do we kind of have a homeless hotline and that can be homeless for any reason, meaning like someone is homeless?
I
Or,
believe Tony's number is the hotline, and I getting a shake from Victoria that that is
but I
the
mean, do we
case.
need to assign him a new number so people are out and around and they go, okay, I'm seeing something here. I
Well, I
don't want
think
to
we'll
see.
just look at how we put that on the website and get that information out, and we'll make sure it's a little better out there that people have it.
Okay, good. Oh, incidentally, I like the website. It looks great, much easier to navigate. Okay, let's see. So now we are at the monthly financial update. Thank you, Brian.
Good evening, council. Most of the time, with the monthly financial update, you don't get a report on it. It is in your council packet once a month. And this particular one is the monthly financial update for June 2022, which happens to be the last month, the end of the fiscal year. It's still preliminary. We are not, we'll be doing additional expenses being booked, additional revenue through the end of this month and even a little bit into August. So, and of course, after that, we have auditors come. So what our actual end of year results will be are still in flux. I did want to bring this to your attention, though, a little bit about what we can say about in this preliminary way about what happened over the course of this year. Next slide, please. The monthly financial report is two pieces. It's a treasury report and a budget to actual report. The treasury report talks about the city's cash and investments. This chart, the green bars are the city's total cash and investment balances, and the lines are by month, money in and money out. This is purely cash. One thing to notice there is that if you look back to June of 2021, this time last year, the city's total in cash and investments was about $29 million. It's now up over 38 million. Now there's a little bit of unfairness in there. That does count our $2.5 million from the ARPA funds. However, even if you take that out, that's year on year about a $7 million increase in cash. And it's not like, you know, we have offsetting liabilities. It's not a fake increase. That has come mostly from increases from revenue exceeding expenses in our general fund. So it's a real, it not only looks like a strengthening in our cash position, but it really is. Next slide, please. Many reasons for that as we look back for this fiscal year. Obviously, Measure D went into effect, and that's going to be the gift that keeps on giving to the city and our ability to provide the kind of services that our citizens expect. The other side of why we've had a very good run the last few years is what I call our development revenues. What we take in from issuing building permits and doing plan check. And what that reflects in turn is just the level of development activity and the valuation of development activity that the city has seen over the last 3 years. You know the names there, the City of Hope, the Huntington, the Esperanza, the Duarte Station projects. We've really had 3 years of development and by extension, development related revenue that's unprecedented in the city's history. It will exceed in this year from those two sources, $5 million. And an average year before leading into this latest sort of boom was something closer to $1 million. So there's both good news. I'll leave you with this. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask them. But the quasi bad news, it's not bad. It just means that as we look towards the future, the next 3 years, you're going to see a downward trend in those revenues. We just don't have a pipeline to the extent that we had in the previous years. It doesn't mean it's going to be a bust. It just means it's going to be back down more towards normal. The good part of that is that even with that decrease, I mean, it could the revenue the city sees from those sources could be down $3 to $4 million from what they are this year. Even with that, given what we have seen from Measure D and the increased sales tax, and given the expenditure restraint that you and the council have demanded through the budget process, we would still be running a surplus this year, even if we were having a more normal development here. And that's what we want to see. We want to see ongoing balance and slight surplus on a structural basis. And I think at the moment we have achieved that, and the key will be to sustain that as we do what we really want to do, which is provide more services and increase our quality of life here in the city of Duarte. But we are indeed building the financial basis to do that. So it's great news. I've had the opportunity to provide you with some great news the last couple of years. If it turns bad, I'll give that to you as well. But it's very important that you know how our financial condition is and that our citizens, our residents know that we are being the best stewards that we can with their money. So on that, I will end it, and any questions you have, I'd be happy to answer.
Okay, questions from my colleagues on our state of financial affairs here? Looks good. Looks really solid. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, so now we are going to go to announcements of upcoming community events, and I know for sure Joanna G is going to grace us with what she has to say, and then my guess is Victoria will be coming up right after that.
Good evening, Joanna G from Duarte Library. Our summer discovery program is still going on until August 14th, so make sure you read books and log them in, and we give prizes for that. We also have Smarty Pants story time starting up again this Friday at 11 o'clock. Registration is required. We also have a special program called Tale of the Lucky Cat, and that's Tuesday, August 2nd at 3 p.m. We're going to have a paid performer perform storytelling on that one. We also have a Create Your Lizard, Own Bead Lizard program for teens, and that's Wednesday, August 24th at 3:30 p.m. We still have COVID kits available. If you know anybody that needs some, send them our way. And we will have a table at National Nights Out. So come stop by the library table. We have free goodies for kids that stop by. And that's about it for me. Any questions?
Free what from Brian?
From the library, we have free goodies like books, little tchotchkes, pencils, and yeah. So stop by and say hi to our children's and teen librarian that will be there.
Great. You do a fine job, Joanne.
Thank you.
Victoria Rocha, Assistant to the City Manager. Thank you for the compliment about the website, by the way. We have been receiving good feedback also from residents, and residents are using it in ways that we've never seen before, which means they're on the website and they're actually finding the things that they're looking for, which is great.
Excellent. It's been a long time coming and we appreciate it.
No problem. And honestly, we have staff in every department who's working and worked on the website, and they've done an excellent job and been wonderful to work with. They were part of the design, so it's great. For upcoming events, summer concerts in the park, we have that tomorrow with the Blue Breeze Band. It was pretty cool reaching out to Susie Perez in the Senior Center and her reporting out that they had over 600 attendees at the last concert. And I started here in 2019, and I don't remember any kind of attendance like that back then. So, I mean, people must be having a great time and really hungry to be out. And we put on great events here with Parks and Rec. So I hope that we have a similar turnout tomorrow night. That's happening at Beardsley Park from 7 to 9 p.m. Again, that's the Blue Breeze Band, which I believe is a swing band, big band. Do I have that right, Manuel? Yeah. Okay. Also upcoming, we have the Splashtacular Water Carnival Wednesday, August 3rd from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. That's at the Duarte Fitness Center. The regular rec swim fees apply for residents and non-residents, and you can call 626-357-6118 for more details. Also, just another note of like other great ways information is getting out there. Duarte suddenly has had a very active assigned reporter to the San Gabriel Valley Tribune, who is constantly reaching out to me for photos of Parks and Rec events. And just today reached out for a courtesy photo to highlight our Splashtacular event. So our Parks and Rec events must be just the hit of San Gabriel Valley, because she's reaching out to me almost weekly for photos. Also upcoming, we have Touch a Truck on Saturday, August 6th, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. This is, I think, the first time we've had it on a Saturday. That'll be here in the Civic Center parking lot. Grab the kids and come out and explore vehicles of all kinds, from trucks to fire engines, tractors, and city buses. You can call Parks and Rec for further information, 626-357-7931. It's also in the city news at accessduarte.com. People also want to look it up there. Marilyn sent me the flyer for the boxing show, so I made sure council each got one. Please share it with your network. That's August 13th at 1 p.m. Duarte High School Gym. The boxers will weigh in at 9 a.m. Doors will open at 11:30, and the first bout begins at 1. Advance admission costs $8, $10 at the door while supplies last, and we could sell out. Children 4 to 11 are $3. 3 years and under are free, and there will also be concessions on site to purchase. The last event I wanted to announce, just to make sure people know to register on time, we have Duarte Under the Stars, our overnight family camp out. That's happening Saturday, August 22nd, starting at 5 p.m. and of course going overnight and ending on Sunday, August 28th at 9:30 a.m. That's happening at Canto Park. Registration residents are $60 for a family of 4. Each additional person is $15. Non-residents are $80 for a family of 4, with each additional person being $20. Join us as we camp under the stars in Encanto Park. We will have a variety of activities for all ages to enjoy. You get a grass space to set up your tent, dinner, dessert, family games, movies and snacks, and continental breakfast in the morning. And you can register at accessduarte.com at the Parks and Rec page. Any questions?
Sounds like a great time. Are you gonna be out there, Manuel? Oh, not a camper, I see.
I don't know if
Yeah.
your grass space will accommodate that.
Well, I was kind of counting on you and your dog to be out there. Okay, yes.
Really quick, Victoria, question on the website.
Yes,
So I know in the past, if you would send a report, if you saw graffiti or anything, you'd get
Yes.
an email confirmation saying we've received that.
right.
Is that still a function of the website?
There is a graffiti reporting function on the website. The one downside is currently it does not send you a confirmation of receipt,
Got it.
but we know that they've been received and we actually just fixed that system because we had some glitch with where they were being routed.
Okay.
So we did a test yesterday. We know that they're being routed correctly to field services. That's the same thing actually with the yard sale permits. You use the online function for that as well. And we tested it, make sure that it was routing properly. I'm going to ask our project manager if we can get a confirmation email as a part of the system, but there is some chance that because it's already built out, they won't be able to do that.
That's good. Whoever's the residents that are asking, just let them know they've.
Let them know it's now functioning properly. It was not for the first
Okay.
couple of weeks.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
I have a question. Is this due to our new website? I get things, it's where it says site visitor name, blank, site visitor email.
Yes.
I've never seen this before. So this is all due to the new.
Correct. So what that looks like is because we've had issues with spam in the past, malware attachments, things like that. So the website is set up in a way, so instead of having emails initially going directly to your email address, they're coming from the system itself. So you're still getting your email, but the person who's sending it is not getting access to your email until you reply.
Can't they use our, Finley M at access
Of
to
course, if they know that, or if that's an email that you've given out or that staff has given out because of a phone call, that they can use that also.
I
This is
see.
more so for new visitors who might be visiting the website for the first time, trying to look up who their council member is. And when they use the website, they don't see your email initially because we want to make sure that nothing icky is getting sent. And then once you reply, then they will have your full email.
Okay, good. All right, thank you. Okay, I think that's it for announcements of upcoming community events. So now we are at oral communications, and I think right now I see one request. Andrew, this would be from you. So if you would like to come forward and speak, this is Dr. Rabacek.
Evening. I prepared a written statement which I'll read so I don't go inordinately over time. I'm Andrew Rabacek. I live on Sphinx Canyon Road where my home borders on the Duarte Wilderness Preserve. I come here tonight to inform you of a clear and present danger affecting the city of Duarte. In 2005, the city of Duarte acquired 330 acres on the northern side of the city, which was established as the Duarte Wilderness Preserve. Over the ensuing 17 years, little conservation efforts have been made to care for this precious piece of land. Over the same time period, we've experienced severe drought and significant climate change, which have affected the Duarte Wilderness Preserve in a negative manner, making it now a CAL FIRE designated high fire hazard zone. CAL FIRE designated high fire zone. In truth, the entire Duarte Mesa has been designated as a high fire hazard zone. The area of the Duarte Wilderness Preserve, which is in Sphinx Canyon, is especially vulnerable to wildfires as it has multiple areas of debris, dead tree, and invasive grasses. The homes bordering on this area are at great risk of wildfires because they are on the top of the canyon, with fires prone to spread rapidly uphill. The risk is compounded by having a single road for egress in case of emergency. A single road for egress in case of emergency. There are 100 homes in Duarte Mesa. Several years ago, recognizing the increased danger, I was able to convince the University of Laverne to establish a conservation sciences program with Pablo Weaver as its leader. This was facilitated by my neighbor, a prominent faculty member, who set up a meeting for me with the president of ULV, with the president, and many of her high-ranking staff. We have been joined in our effort to save Sphinx Canyon by a local field biologist, Ricardo Montiel. We have trained our first ULV student to produce a wildfire mitigation plan for Sphinx Canyon, utilizing state-of-the-art UAV imaging with Esri-based GIS software. It turns out Esri is the world leader in GIS software based in San Bernardino County. They have been very helpful with software advice and extremely favorable pricing, to say the least. We presented our wildfire mitigation plan at their yearly conference in San Diego last week. It was well received. It was also given more than 3 minutes. The plan involves high-resolution imaging with an enterprise DJI Matrix 300 RTK drone equipped with a survey-grade 35 millimeter, 45 megapixel camera. Not chump change. 1,800 images are then processed on a Xeon workstation to produce an orthomosaic image of 9.2 gigabytes. The image is used to delineate areas for potential remediation. The next step involves ground inspection called truthing. I love that term, truthing. When the field biologist identifies in person all the areas and deems whether intervention is appropriate. Photos are taken at that inspection and downloaded into a field computer for entry into the main database. I performed our first truthing of the area yesterday with Ricardo Montiel. What I'm proposing is that the city of Duarte take advantage of the expertise of our group in carrying out wildfire mitigation, initially on the eastern side of Sphinx Canyon, which is the area of highest risk, but later for all areas of wildfire concern, of which there are multiple ones. I met with our mayor last week to demonstrate our work, and she suggested that I come here tonight to present a very brief overview, underlying very brief overview. I'm very interested in moving this project forward and welcome the opportunity to present the details of our plan to an appropriate group.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I did meet with Andrew, and I know this is not, oh, where's Ty? Oh, good, Ty's not here. Oh, shoot. Sorry, Andrew. Ty is our city attorney, and she won't let me talk about anything that isn't on the agenda. Yeah, look at her. She's smiling. She knows. Okay, so I guess my question to my colleagues is, I know this is something that is not agendized. I think because of the wildfires that we have had and the potential for them, I think in the future we need to do something in the foothills, whether it is put cameras all along easy access points into the foothills. The one that we had
Mayor.
anyway, so I promise I'm gonna be good, Ty. You won't have to haul me off the dais here. But just a thought, do we want to agendize something like this? I mean, are you guys okay with just making it so we can at least talk about it?
So instead of deciding whether to agendize it, because again, that is a discussion item, I would say we direct it to our city manager and staff, and they will bring it back to the city council.
Okay,
Thank you.
Andrew?
Yeah, I'll just make a comment. I think that to sit down with the city manager will be very important to figure out how to integrate things in a successful manner. As many of you know, I'm an ardent imager, coming from the world of oncology, but now having established the 2 wildfire cameras that are in the city of Duarte already, as well as some security cameras. So I'm more than, have more expertise than could be shared completely. But what I need to find out is how to meld that in with the city because if I propose something which is absolutely absurd, it goes nowhere. And so we have to figure out a plan which is absolutely going to work with the city.
Okay,
that's
so
important.
maybe over the next couple of weeks, Dan, you and I can get together. and-
Absolutely.
and
We
anybody
will,
else that wants to
thank you,
also-
Dr. Robichek, for coming here this evening and presenting this to the council.
GIS is
Um,
going to be important for many things other than the wildfires.
We will certainly work together with staff and perhaps get in touch with Dr. Robichek to talk about what would be the appropriate item to bring back for your consideration. As the doctor said, how to make it some kind of viable policy option, whether it would be going through a commission first to get some vetting and get some visibility for this issue, because he didn't say this, but he has actually showed me some of the work that he's done, and it truly is spectacular, and the technology is amazing. So we have a great resource at our disposal, and if we can find a way to work it in with our city public safety efforts to help make that a safer place to be, I think that's great.
Okay. All
Mayor,
right.
can I just make
Yeah,
a
go ahead,
comment
Sam.
really quick? And
And don't look at Ty.
I'm not looking at Ty, just making a comment really quick. I know we actually have a state-of-the-art thermal camera that's actually at the highest point of our city, continuously sweeping the San Gabriel Mountain for any kind of hot spots. So if it does trigger to our public safety right away to let them know that we do have potentially a fire, so we can expedite and call LA County as soon as possible. So the city has that implemented already, maybe a couple years ago.
Okay, good. All right, thank you. Do we have any other people that would like to speak under oral communications? Okay, we'll have another chance later on this evening. We are, oh, Lena, okay, sorry.
Lino Paros. Whatever happened to, used to be $10,000 GOAT technology for fire suppression in that area, or in that, if you remember.
I think we still have goats.
We still have GOAT in the budget for fire suppression.
Yeah, we had goats up there.
We had goats
Okay,
last year. I think there may have been an issue with the goats this year, but
They used manpower this year because of the.
it's cutting into my time of 3
Okay.
minutes. So.
yeah, sorry.
That's okay,
I-
Lino. I'll grant you a
Okay,
few more.
thank you.
I ate the goats. No, just kidding.
Oh, it's good. Anyway, back to the 3 minutes starting point is that I don't know how supposedly Beverly Hills will not follow the so-called mass mandate. Okay, that's plan, and I think the city should support Supervisor Berger with regards to this. Okay, when I said Beverly Hills, referring to superiority clause. Number two is thanks for the city for the memorial service that was held in City Hall. I really appreciate that as a dad. And thanks to everyone who attended the memorial services and those who watched the live YouTube streaming and replays. I think I know almost everyone who attended in that memorial service. I'm not being facetious on that. Of about 400 based on somebody's estimate. And out of this room, I know that there are at least 12 people who attended the memorial services in person that I'm aware of, out of 2/3 in attendance today. Plus, and again, I appreciate the footwork of Victoria and Manuel Rique during that time. I know they were just the Energizer Bunny during those days. Right. Lastly, in the closed session, I made a comment about the performance of the city manager, of which I mentioned that so far, since I have attended city council meeting, from Ken Caresio, who I called a laid-back city manager, just the who is, in my opinion, more of a divisive city manager. Daryl George, who is great babysitter in the early stages in my book. And Manuel Enriquez as the best interim city manager. And of course, as I said earlier, that Dr. Magic Dan Jordan, I'm working on a superhero based on his character. That's a side note, is the best so far, well prepared. Okay. And also I mentioned earlier the two things. When I get a review, when I have a boss before, there's always something that excellent, excellent, and then there is room for improvement. So I mentioned those areas, in my opinion, that the city council should work with the city manager to, so that you can have the best city manager in San Gabriel Valley. Thank you.
Thank you. And we agree with you. Okay. So do we have anyone else that would like to come and speak under oral communications? Okay, seeing no one step forward, we have our consent calendar, which is next.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent calendar. Is there any discussion? Any objections? If not, so ordered. Okay, now there are no items removed from consent, and item 9 is a public hearing for the levy and collection of assessments within the lighting and landscape district.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. My name's Cody Howing, City Engineer. This is the first opportunity I've had to address the City Council, so it's a pleasure and opportunity. Appreciated to be here. Thank you. As stated, this is the public hearing, the annual public hearing that we have to bring to City Council to set and levy the assessment for the city's lighting and landscape maintenance districts. I'm going to make a few brief kind of highlights of the engineer's reports this evening and open it up for questions if there are any. So first, foremost, kind of an overall summary of the revenue expected to be generated. The total between all 18 zones projected is $992,171. There is a citywide zone, as I'm sure council is aware, but also zones 2 through 18, which are more neighborhood based. Generally, they might be individual tracks or a group of 2 or 3 tracks. In those zones, the neighborhood zones 2 through 18, we have an opportunity in about half of them to increase the assessment based on the CPI index. This year, the CPI, and it's year to year annual basis for December, is 6.6%. The cap for those zones that do allow it is 3%. So obviously there's a differential there, and I'm sure we're all feeling it and seeing it in the news that CPI is obviously increased beyond the 6.6. So I just want to highlight to council that is something that Mr. Hensley and I are watching closely. As we kind of move forward, I can go through the individual assessments if so interested, but I just want to kind of summarize as sort of a median increase for those zones, as it generally hovers around a $15 increase per parcel, but we can certainly dive into the details. So anyways, that concludes my report, and I'm available for any questions.
Okay. Do you work for RKA?
Yes, Mayor. I obviously replaced Dominic. Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, when you talk with Dominic next time, tell him that, we wish him well over in Arizona, I believe.
Yes, he is getting closer to moving there. Certainly working hard towards it. Yes.
Well, tell him not to move to an area that burns.
Will do.
Okay. Questions or comments regarding the report? And if there isn't one, then do we have, we need to open the public hearing.
Yeah.
Okay, is there anyone? Oh, here, I'll let you go ahead and read all the stuff in that.
We received no written public comment for this, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. So do we have anyone that would like to, good, we have someone from the public, Lino.
Lino Paros, District 9. Correct my recollection, I thought this process of lighting and landscape usually start in May, unless of course I was sleeping and I miss it. And now we have this public hearing. Usually it's in May of every year. So I just want to make sure that if I miss my,
Okay. Anybody want to discuss that?
I recommend we wait until after we close the public hearing.
Okay. Okay, do we have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
So moved and seconded. Do we have any discussion regarding the motion? If not, then so ordered. Okay. Dan, when do we usually?
I do know that we noticed that the hearing was going to be this evening a month ago. And historically, I don't know if it's come before July, because these are the assessments that are going to be coming up for the
Yes.
subsequent fiscal year, right? So we're getting out
Yes.
ahead of the game here.
So just to highlight the schedule to the council and all present, my deadline to submit the tax rolls to the county is August 10th. My recollection of the schedule last year is, I believe, don't quote me, but I believe the public hearing occurred also on the second meeting of July last year. Moving it up is certainly something we can do. We are ahead and right on pace to make the deadline, certainly for the property tax roll though through the county. And those obviously will come in I think generally mid-November is when those tax bills get issued.
Right.
And so.
Okay. Thank you for answering those questions. Okay. Do we have any questions, comments, or do we have a motion?
Motion to adapt the resolutions number 22-30.
I second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to adopt the resolution number 22-30. Is there any further discussion? Any objections? Okay, if not, so ordered. Okay, there are no business items. We can have oral communications. The continuation of it is item 11. Anyone that did not speak at the first one of the continuation or the oral communications, you're welcome to step forward. Okay. Then we are on to items from City Council, Housing Authority, Financing Authority, etc. Okay, let's go down the line there. Brian? Nothing? Okay. Mr. Parks and Rec? And I don't want to see a motorhome parked out there at Encanto Park.
That means a tent, man, tent.
Okay, Kristen?
Also available online. So, if you want to put into a question card or want to look at it, they're able to actually look at it in months. They do want to hard copy the information.
Okay, great, thank you. Dr. Jordan?
Nothing this evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you.
Okay, City Attorney Fan?
Yes, Mayor, City Council members, just on behalf of our city clerk, the city did notify or notice the call for submittal of arguments for and opposing the ballot initiative relating to healthcare workers minimum wage. And so just so that the public is aware, and that we will need that to be submitted to the city clerk's office by August 18th, 2022 at 6 p.m. And that it will be, I guess, following the county guidelines for the word count and things like that. So just be aware that that notice is out there and we are waiting for those arguments to be submitted.
Okay, and who would write those arguments? We wouldn't.
In this case, unless the city council voted to do so, however, this would be any member of the public, organizations that support or
Okay.
against it, and they would submit it.
Okay, good. All right, thank you. Let's see, let's start with Vin. Go ahead, Vin. Anything?
Just one thing, want to congratulate Victoria and Brenda Trainer for securing money from Assemblywoman Rubio regarding our broadband initiative that we've talked so much about. So thank you for all that. I know it's pretty difficult to write, but I heard that you guys got it done, including Dan, within what, 24 hours? Yeah, I don't know how you guys do it, but it's good stuff. Congrats, guys. Thank you, guys.
Okay, is that it? Okay, good. Thank you. Caesar.
I'm just trying to find the word to describe the Honorable Zaido's send-off that we had. It was well put together. It was lovely. So shout out to staff for setting that up. After her memorial, I head out to a fundraiser for the Duarte boxing, and it felt right. You know, she was a big supporter of the boxing program, and it was a lovely turnout. There was a lot of golfers, a lot of sponsors. The first concert in the park down in Beardsley, I must admit, when I first saw the band playing, I said, okay, this is different for the neighbors. Didn't know what to expect, but there was over 600 residents and people attending, and they did throw some Spanish songs in there. And I thought that was really great. So shout out to Susie who got those bands. Tomorrow we have Motown and Soul. So I'm looking forward to that. And they were able to get Foothill Unity to put a booth because they're having their back to school drive. So if anybody would like to donate any items, they can come to the concerts in the park tomorrow and you'll be entered in a raffle. Shout out to some restaurants that provided some gift cards. And what else? Oh, those mosquito wipes came in handy. They really came in clutch at the concerts in the park. A big shout out to the CERT team who was handing out some dandy tools for emergency preparedness. Definitely the DART team was out there. Upper San Gabriel Valley Water. And what else? What else? Oh, the drive for the back to school is August 2nd. That's going to be at Santa Anita Racetrack. And again, that's from Foothill Unity Center. National Night Out, Dunk a Deputy, I believe it's $5 to dunk a deputy. So buy
Brian,
it's for a good cause. So buy as many balls.
Are you going to be up there, Brian?
Is that you, Sarge? Is that you, Sarge? Okay.
I'm just curious, can I buy some donuts with that? No.
And again, shout out to all the staff in public safety for Carmageddon. This helped to prepare us for this next one. So and thank you for the residents for understanding and being patient with us.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, Sam.
Thank you, Mayor. And Lino, I would like to personally apologize for not yeah, but you know what? She and I, we go a long way, and I do apologize not able to go and attend the memorial service. My daughter got she somehow she's like the fastest whatever kid in her age, and she went to the regional or went to San Diego and she placed 12. So again, I apologize. It was fun. I'm saying personally. Yeah, I know. So I just want to go ahead and say one more thing that just to echo what Caesar had said, the boxing show. This is going to be August 13th at 1 p.m. It's going to be at Duarte High School, the gym. So I think this will be a great thing. And I want to say that Duarte boxing really helped me out during COVID. And man, I lost probably 20 pounds and it was just so stressful. And without really having Duarte Boxing helping me out and just, training me almost, 3 or 4 times a week. I think I would have probably been stressed out or got COVID or whatever, who knows what had happened, would have had happened. But I really do appreciate Victor, Louis, and everyone else, Danny, for doing their job. Great staff. You have really good staff and such a great program. It's really helping a lot of kids too when they are not motivated or they have no directions, whatever, and so on. I think Duarte Boxing is really giving them a chance to say, hey, you know what, you can do this. If you're able to go ahead and achieve this, you're able to go ahead and do other stuff too. So such a great program. I personally endorse it. So anyways, I think, oh yeah, one more thing really quick, Brian, if you don't mind. Can we get a report? What are we going to expect from the Carmageddon 2? It's pretty significant to a lot of our constituents. We just need to have a really good mitigation plan and get our buy-ins, not just like, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and do this and say la vie, but we need to really have a plan. At least get our buy-ins and say, hey, what are we going to go ahead and do? What we're going to expect? So at least we can chime in, right? Anyways, that's it. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. And Tony?
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say thank you for staff for the memorial ceremony. It was awesome. I was actually scheduled to go to work after it, and I didn't go to work after it. I thought Zyda would want me to be off that day, so. But that being said, it was awesome. I mean, there was great words by everyone. The mayor made me cry. I didn't want to cry. I told him, but I'd like to thank everyone that put that together. And far as staff, you're doing a great job, and keep up the good work. That's it. Good night.
Okay, thank you. And I just have a couple of things. Once again, I just want to say congratulations to the City of Hope for job well done. They're growing, and I texted with Robert Stone today and told him I thought the parking garage even looked phenomenal. So and that's tough to make a parking garage look great, but he said it actually turned out better than he thought it was going to turn out too. Also, for those of you that have not eaten at the City of Hope Hotel restaurant, do it. It is good food. I ate there 3 times last week. I know, and I just don't eat out. I had sea scallops there one night and then 2 breakfasts, and their food is good. It is. They've got some really good chefs there. Anybody else been there? Yes, the hotel isn't, but the restaurant is, and it is good food.
Hospital food is good. That's kind of like contradicting,
Nope,
but
nope, this
okay.
is not, this is a
All right.
restaurant.
I'm gonna check it out.
They have some excellent chefs there, and they are changing
ready.
out the menu also. So I'm just,
They close.
I think 8. I think 8. But anyway, I just.
Mayor, are you buying? No.
Sure.
Sounds like breakfast next Saturday.
Hey,
See ya.
Hey, I go ahead. Now, I'll tell you right now, Ty'd have a fit.
Don't forget to report it. It's over $50. You got to report it.
If you're getting the scallops, it'll probably be more than $50.
No, it wasn't. The sea scallops, I even took pictures of it. $26. Wow. I'm telling you, their food is outstanding. So I know I'm cutting off my own foot here, because now it's going to be a case of, great, we'll have to wait in line to get in there.
I want to
It is
try it.
good food. And it's very clean and modern. I hadn't been inside the hotel. It's very, very nice.
Mm.
So Okay, we've already talked about trucks on the residential streets. This is something that someone approached me with, commemorative benches. Manuel is like, looks up like, you can have more fun looking at him during these meetings. Okay, commemorative benches. People were wondering, if they could do commemorative benches, they'd pay for them. And we put them in different parts of Duarte, maybe where we have a dearth, or a scarcity of benches in walking areas. Anyway, just a thought. Oh, also, this is something else that just occurred to me. We have a lot of senior citizens that use this parking lot as a walking area. Do you look at that as any kind of liability, or do we need to put benches there so I guess we have a couple of them out here. But I just thought we could paint things on the concrete that would show how far they've walked. So,
Sure.
okay, and it could be a risk, because we would almost be encouraging them to do it there. But anyway, I've noticed it, and I think it's really cute that they do it. Okay, and my last and final joint school board city council meeting. They're all blowing me off down there. Okay, joint school board city council meeting. I know we were looking at having one
Ye-
right after school started.
Yeah, we still have not been able to schedule it yet. But we are making efforts to do that. I apologize for the delay in getting it on the schedule, on the calendar. We've gone back and forth several times. Gordon and I have. We now have people who actually know how to get things scheduled and organized doing it. So it will be on your schedule soon, and we'll be getting a word out as to when it will be available for various dates for all of us to be able to make.
Okay. And then also big hats off for the lovely job that our staff did, particularly Victoria. I was going to say Veronica, Victoria and Manuel. I know everybody participated, but it was a great testimony to a great person. And I think there were many people that were touched. So Lino, I don't very often, no, I kind of do now. You done good raising her. Although I think it was probably Russell. Anyway, so those are my final comments, and I believe it's 8:27, so we will adjourn this meeting until our meeting on the 9th of August. Yes. All right. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.